Hello, everyone. This is Jamila Blue, astrologer, transformation coach, and energetic healer. And I am here to bring you the energy of the week ahead. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology of what to expect over the course of the next few days. I'm also going to talk about the first decan of Leo and what that means. And then I'm going to get into the essential oils or the plants that go with Leo as well as this first decan of Leo and how to best utilize them for the week ahead. So let's get on into it. All right, so we are now in Leo season, y'all. So we have transitioned from moon ruled Cancer into fire sun ruled Leo. So, a little bit about Leo. Leo loves attention, he loves the spotlight. He is also, because it's a fire sign, just being able to bring our creativity into the limelight. It also it's able to be able to bring more of our authentic self, our heart, our passion into our daily life. And so this season, this Leo season, is really all about being able to tap into our heart's purpose, our authenticity, and being able to really discover who we are. If you know a Leo, you'll know that they are some of the most generous, loyal, warm-hearted individuals that you may encounter. They just have huge hearts and really love to be able to shine the light on those that they love. They love to be able to really inspire and bring passion in all that they do. They often also make a grand entrance into wherever they are. They can be a bit loud and a bit boisterous, and so they just bring attention often. So Leos usually don't like sharing the spotlight. However, they can. It's not that they don't. They just really like to be able to bring the spotlight onto themselves. And that's okay. We love that about them. They're fantastic about doing that. However, it can be a little they can go a little overboard with this sometimes. It can tend to be a little narcissistic. So those would be the shadow elements of Leo, is just bringing on all the attention and it all being about me. So if you're a Leo and you're listening to this, just remember to keep that into check, okay? All right, so we've got a month of Leo energy happening ahead of us. So just during the duration of this entire month, you really just want to listen to your heart's call that whispers in your ear, let's do something creative today. That heart's call that says, let's get out and be a little more social and be seen. That heart's call of, let's get some action moving beyond our ideas. So with that said, let's go into some of the energies that are taking place for the week ahead. So today, Monday, we've got, like I said, the sun moves into Leo. And so that's probably the biggest thing that's happening today. You'll definitely feel that energy shift. However, the moon is also trining Jupiter, and it is opposing Venus. And so it can just really be a good day to be able to get out there, be seen, be heard. If you have things that you're really wanting to be able to move into, opportunities that may be happening or potential opportunities, you definitely want to get out there and make those emails, make those phone calls, make those connections that are needed to let those opportunities be known, whatever they might be. And with the moon opposing Venus, then we can also just have that, how do we feel about the things that we value? And are we really focusing on those things in a meaningful way, or are there ways that, we could be more congruent with our thoughts and our values? So, just something to be able to be mindful of. So, there's that. Moving into Tuesday, the sun is going to be opposing Pluto, and so that energy is going to be really prominent on Tuesday. And so that'll be Tuesday, July 23rd. So it can be a heaviness, a weightedness, also being able to see the things that are not seen. So doing some shadow work, being able to, it could also bring about some power plays, my will against your will. And it can be things that are just blindsiding us, things that we just don't see as clearly might come into light. If you're looking at trying to hide something, might not work. It might come to light. So any of those dark secrets that you might have, or things that you just don't want to have light on, there might be some opportunity for that to come to light, or you may be able to find that it needs or wants some light, whatever that might be. Also Tuesday, let's see, what time Tuesday? In the morning, the moon goes into Pisces. And so with that Pisces moon, that's going to bring it's going to bring up our feelings, y'all. So you might feel a little bit more emotional with the Pisces moon, especially leaving Aquarius. So Aquarius moon likes to be very stoic and doesn't like to get into the feelings. You might notice a shift when you wake up. It'll be happening about 9:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so we've got a couple of days of really feeling it. Also, with the Pisces moon and the Leo sun, it can be a really great opportunity to, step into our creativity in an emotional way. Really being able to put our feelings into art would be a great way to utilize that, whether that's painting or poetry, or just ways to authentically express ourselves from a heartfelt way. Will be really great for that Tuesday energy. Wednesday, the moon is going to be squaring off with Jupiter, and it'll also be opposing Saturn. And so, not opposing Saturn, coming together with Saturn. While the moon is in Pisces, Saturn is also in Pisces, so there's a congruence there. So there could be some, so when the moon is squaring with Jupiter, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Jupiter brings all things that are good. However, there might be some action around some ideas about, or some belief systems that you might have that might be put into place. Or it could be, with it squaring off, the moon squaring off with Jupiter, it could be really around, are you too much in your head? Is the head being too expansive? Maybe we need to bring it down into our heart, into the emotional qualities of things. Maybe being able to recognize what is more of our heart's purpose and how can we bring it into place, especially when the moon comes together with Saturn, because Saturn in Pisces is really putting structure around our dreams or our visions, and really allowing us to do a reality check. On the flip side, it can be, it might put us too much in our feelings in a negative way, so we might feel a little somber, a little more depressed, because our dreams might not be moving forward in the way that we want them to, or we just might have that feeling of just nothing working out and that sort of thing. So, really just if you're feeling a little depressed, a great way to move out of that is by looking for your heart's inspiration and seeing what brings it joy. Whether it is a flower blossoming or the waves crashing, hearing them, or putting your feet in the sand, whatever that might be for you. Finding joyful moments is a great way to help us move forward through those darker areas that Saturn Pisces area can bring in our charts. So Thursday, we've got the moon is going to be sextiling Uranus, and so that might just bring some out of the blue things happening. We might just, have on an emotional quality, just things happening that might be unexpected, an unexpected phone call, an unexpected, thing that might be occurring. And also, it can be a little dreamy on Thursday because the moon is coming together with Neptune, and so when Neptune and the moon come together, it just really is a great time to tap into our dreaminess. We might feel a little less active. We might feel more like taking a bath or going for a swim or getting into water. It can be a time to overindulge, so be really careful about overindulging, whether that's food or drink or whatever that might be. So, it could be really easy to overdo it in that area. The moon will be going into Aries Thursday morning, and so that will shift up that energy quite a bit. So also on Thursday, one of the big things that'll be happening is this week is Mercury is going to be going into Virgo. So that is something to be aware of before. And next week it's going to actually be going into retrograde. So while we've got the moon in Leo, it may be a great opportunity to just tap into creative communications before we really put those seeds of those communications and those ideas and those inspirations into practice with Virgo. So Mercury loves being in Virgo. It's one of its favorite places to be as he rules Virgo. So when we have these ideas in Leo-led ideas, and we move them into Virgo practice in practical ways, there'll be a shift there. And so Mercury goes into Virgo on Thursday evening at 6:41 p.m. this week. So we'll notice a shift in the way that we communicate, and we might have more ideas, and things just might really speed up for us. Our thoughts might be far more fast than what they may be in inspired Leo. So moving on into Friday, we've got the moon is going to be trining Venus, which can just feel very, very lovely around putting action around our values, really seeing what's inspiring us to, as we want to be more individual or pioneer something, or just really take charge into something. So it could also be, we might feel more of our inner activist coming out, and how that works with our value systems. One thing to note on Friday is Friday evening through Saturday afternoon, the moon is going to be void of course. And so with a void of course moon, which begins Friday evening at 6:14 p.m., through Saturday afternoon around 2 p.m., we've got 19 hours of the moon void, of course. So sometimes it's only a couple of hours here and there, which is a lot more manageable. But when we've got such a solid block of time, things that we're really wanting to have concrete action or an outcome from, I set up an appointment because I want an outcome from that appointment, or I have an agenda of something that I'd like to fulfill, or I'd like to take action towards an idea or an effort of some sort. When the moon is void, of course, it's not the time to do that. It is a great time to cut our grass, to be able to journal, to be able to clean our house, to do things that don't require an outcome that's going to be, supporting us in what we want to do. So just something to be in mind. So, if you're out networking Friday evening, looking for those leads, those conversations, or if you set some appointments Friday evening, most likely they might not take. So just something to be mindful of. I do like that it's happening on a Friday evening versus a Monday morning where we've got 19 hours of the moon void, of course. So it's, the things that we really just need to hold in that action too, that we're really looking for that end result. Typically most of us are, by Friday evening, it's after work and we're ready to play without so much of an agenda in what we're doing other than having fun, right? So I do appreciate that it's happening in the evening on Friday going into the morning, early afternoon Saturday. So on Saturday, the moon is going to shift gears. It's going to move into Taurus, and it's also going to be on Saturday. It's also going to be, I was just looking at the time. It's going to be in the afternoon squaring off with Pluto. So that can cause, Saturday afternoon, could cause some power plays. It might be, my way versus your way, power and control. So is really going to be the theme Saturday afternoon throughout the day. So just something to be mindful of if you find that you're just really squaring off with people. And it's really, tempers might flare, or it can be more about my way versus your way, or it can be about money, or we might see like in the world, politics there might be some things that might be a little bit more explosive, or things that are coming to light, like, dark secrets coming to light might happen with the moon squaring off with Pluto. So Saturday is going to be, it can be a little rough emotionally on Saturday. So great opportunity to breathe on through it and really do some embodiment work is a great way. Taurus loves being in the body, and Pluto loves discovering shadow, like what's going on in our shadow sense. So really, Saturday during the day can be a great opportunity to do that. Also, the moon is going to be trining Mercury, and so that can really help us with our conversations. So even if those conversations can be a little more heated, or it might be my will against your will, there's some support there in the way that we communicate. Also, Saturday is the last quarter moon that happens Saturday evening. And so when we think about the last quarter moon, it really is about the last call of action before of getting things done. So the full moon that happened early Sunday morning was really that fullness of how things are culminating since the new moon themes from a couple of weeks ago. And then this is that last push to make things happen. As that the moon is really, coming, closer and closer to becoming new in a couple of weeks. So there's that. Sunday is a fairly quiet day. It's going to be a great day to just take some rest, be at peace, be in the park, doing something nature loving. It will be a great way to be, to really step into the support of Sunday's energy. All right, so that's the week ahead. I would like to switch gears. So I would like to talk about the decans of astrology. So if you're not familiar with the decans, I did do a decan video that you can find. I'll put the links in the notes, but I do have a playlist for the decans, and you can find that decan video there. And I'll also just I'll put it here as well so that you can see what it looks like. So the first decan of Leo, which starts today, so it starts when the sun moves into from one place to another, from like Cancer to Leo, so it's moving, so it's now in that first degree of moving into that first degree of Leo. So the card for Leo in Tarot, Rider Waite, I like to use as just for reference for my decans, because that's who my teachers of the decans, this is the one that they use, and it's the most traditional deck, right? So the symbology is definitely here that supports the decans. And so with the Rider-Waite, Leo is the strength card, and we can just really see this lovely picture of a woman holding and loving on a lion. And when we think about lions, just their fierce, strong energy that they have, king of the jungle, right? So we've got this woman who is being able to just really care on this lovely lion in this picture. The first decan of Leo is ruled by Saturn, and in Tarot, Saturn is the world card. You can really see the container represented here in this card, where we've got the container, which Saturn is the container. It's the vessel that holds, and it's it rules our bones and structures and so forth. And so in this container of the world, it's being supported within that container. And so over the next 10 days, we've got Saturn ruling this decan. And the way that this is represented in Tarot, it's the Five of Wands. So the wands represent fire in the Tarot. And so Leo being a fire-ruled sign. So the story of wands continues through, starting with the five of wands. And so in this card, it's, as you can see, it's a lot of motion in different directions. Who's going to win, who's going to be in control, what are we going to do with all of this fire. And so really in the Five of Wands, Austin Coppock in 36 Faces really calls this the spotlight. And so it's really this, let me refer to my notes here real quick, because the spotlight is really just how that direct attention, that ray of light beaming on that individual on the stage, whether he's masked or not masked, but he's taking on a persona. And so with this, Austin Coppock talks about how we focus our attention on one point or on one person, and the spotlight serves to direct our attention from the audience to that point of attention. And so it's really power over visibility, and it can also look at what's invisible, right? So if you see the stage and everything is dark with that spotlight on that one thing, there's a whole lot of things that are not being seen as well. And so where is the attention? Is it on the spotlight, or is it on what's invisible? So, there's, the ego doesn't like that deprivation of light. So the ego has a tendency to shrink, and there might be a hunger of attention, where it can almost feel like it's starving out the ego. The ego wants more light. And so this Five of Wands really is commanding who is going to get the spotlight, and we're going to fight over it. And it's really our ego fighting over who's going to step in the spotlight, and there can only be one winner. And so it can be really difficult in this first decan of Leo, because our ego might not get what it's looking for. So it's this concept of what's in excess and what's in deficiency, and both result in using the power to direct our attention poorly. So the ray of light can either heal, or it can bring some scarcity. And so I really like what Austin Coppock says about that. And I don't have his book handy. However, if you are into the decans, I highly recommend um, his book 36 Faces. It's a little hard to get right now. However, he is creating a new book, which I'm really excited, like a reprint of it that he's updating with all of the information that he's learned since the first writing of that book. All right, the other one of my other favorite books on the Decans is called 36 Secrets by Susan Chang. And one of the things that she mentions is really the search for the limelight or the quest for fame. Um, and so since this is the card, it's traditionally known as strife in the Rider Waite deck. And so she says that strife is another way of saying striving. So, what are we striving for? And is our ego going to get hurt over the striving that we do? So, that's just a little of information on the decans. So, I often like to put the decans, like the intro, like the decans on my altar. I like to be able to put all three cards on the altar. I like to be able to put the things that represent, like stones that are going to be represented in this decan, as well as using essential oils for this decan, and just being able to set up a space on my altar to help me remember and to tap into the natural energies that are happening at this time, is it really just kind of brings in an added emphasis to some of that Saturn energy that's happening. So, with that said, I do want to switch over to plants and planets. So, with, as some of you know, I love working with the essential oils and how they correspond to each of the planets. So, if you are interested, I do have a downloadable copy of what each of the oils are for each planet that you can download. I will put the link below if that's something that you are interested in receiving. And also, it'll give you just a little couple of keywords for each of the oils so that you can tap into how they resonate for you. Oh, I love it when I have some video problems. All right, so I'm going to try to pick up from where the video was dropped. So I was talking about Cyprus. And so Cyprus, for this first decan of Leo, is one of my favorites. And I just love it because it's representative of both Sun and Saturn. Especially right now with Leo energy, Leo can be very fixed. It's one of the fixed signs. So it doesn't like switching gears when its mind is made up. Or if it's in motion doing a thing, it's really difficult for Leos to pivot to another thing. It takes quite a bit of adjustment for Leo to do that. So Cyprus is really going to help with being able to tap into our authenticity, our heart's desire, our purpose, and really move through any of that fixedness and stagnation that might be there, to be able to really just help pivot us and transition us and push us forward to living our highest good, our most authentic self, our heart's desires. So it's super good for that. So the other oil that I love for Leo season, not just the first 10 days of the first decan of Leo, which takes us to August 1st, is when the sun moves into 10 degrees of Leo. So between now and then, great time to use Cyprus, as it will be representative of both Saturn and the sun. But if you're wanting to just tap into just the Leo energy by itself or for the rest of the month, or looking for an alternative oil, frankincense is the king of all oils. It rules our heart, body, cells, and it's just a great oil for discovering or getting rid of any untruths, definitely at a spiritual level. So being able to clear the haze behind our eyes so that we can really see and feel truth, our spiritual truth, in a more meaningful way. So, frankincense is incredible for so many things, including taking the spiritual fog off from behind our eyes and being able to see more clearly. All right, one of my other favorite oils for Leo season is Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile is really wonderful to tap into our heart's desire and our true purpose as well. So, with both frankincense, cypress, and chamomile, you can place them on your heart or on the inside of your elbows, are great ways of connecting to that heart energy. You can also diffuse them, putting 2 drops of cypress and 2 drops of Roman chamomile, and frankincense doesn't need much. 1 drop within a diffuser is a great way to be able to also diffuse them. I love diffusing because usually, I don't know about your diffuser, but my diffuser lasts several hours, 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. And so it's just a great way to really inhale and breathe in those energetic qualities of these oils. They just bring in so many benefits that you can bring them in that way as well. I would also love to hear your feedback, things that may have happened to you during the week. I would love to be able to hear how you utilize your essential oils, or if you have other oils that you like to use for Leo season. I'd love to see those in the comments. And also, how you might work with the decans in astrology. It's one of my favorite things, along with plants and planets. I just love all of these things so much, and I'm always very curious to hear how others use those things as well in their daily practice. All right, so if you have found this video helpful, I would love for you to like and subscribe, and that helps motivate me to do more of these videos, and it also helps others find this video more readily. So love for you to do that. And if you'd like to schedule an appointment with me, you can do so on my website. On my home page, there is an option to schedule an appointment. You can schedule a coaching session or an astrology appointment with me. And I will see you next time, friends. Take care, y'all. Have a great week.